Alright, so these will be familiar to all of you. Victorinox scale tools, tweezers, pen, toothpick and pin. Now, let's take this pin and stick it in all of that for a second and talk about lighters. Now, handymen and EDC practitioners have been wrapping tape around disposable lighters since Moses' dad gave him his first Leatherman. And I started wondering, what would happen if we brought the two together? What if a humble corner shop refillable lighter could become a genuine little fix-it companion? So I added tape, Victorinox scale tools, and a tiny glue stick. And somewhere along the line, accidentally turned a disposable lighter into a tiny, modular, fix-it utility platform. And the more I think about it, the more this makes sense. Now, don't get me wrong, I love sacks. I think we pretty much all love sacks, and hopefully in a healthy relationship kind of way. Not a I'm hiding 15 recently purchased red knives from my nearest and dearest kind of way. But these tiny scale tools still seem to have a lot of influence over our carry and even sometimes our choice of knives, especially for the 58mm range. The most common microtools today are the first that Victorinox brought out. The tweezer and toothpick have been around since 1902. Yeah, 1902. Back when my great-granddad was still a youngster and the Wright brothers were still a year off achieving powered flight. But there you go, 120 years later, they're still the default tools for a small sack. And over the years, Victorinox and especially Wenger experimented with all sorts of increasingly elaborate ideas. Analog watches, later digital watches, all the way up to mini weather stations incorporating thermometers, barometers and altimeters. And of course, pens and LED lights. But interestingly, the tools that have really endured are the simple ones. Even today, whether or not a knife includes a pair of tweezers, a toothpick, a pen, or a pin, can completely change which model people choose to carry, which eventually got me wondering, do these things actually have to live in the knife scales at all? And to give Victorinox their due, they themselves have occasionally experimented going beyond the traditional scale tool format, completely separating them from the knife itself, as with the SwissCard. So there's quite a few versions of the SwissCard range now, but here you have the traditional scale tools, pen, toothpick, tweezer, pin, and then the other tools. So you have knife, file, screwdriver, scissors. Other later versions have these quattro screwdrivers, LED lights, etc. Now, personally, I don't actually carry one of these because at 5 credit cards thick, that's just a little bit too much bulk than I'm prepared to carry in my wallet. But I do think the SwissCard is a clever little invention. But in my honest opinion, SwissCards are less of an EDC solution and more a gateway drug for turning gadget-loving muggles into full-blown EDC practitioners. But seriously, once you remove the assumption that these tiny tools have to live inside of red plastic scales, you realise they could exist practically anywhere. And keeping them handy within a small lighter and a glue that responds to heat makes perfect sense in an EDC context. Especially for those of us with a little space in our fifth pocket, or find themselves eating mints 3 at a time just so that they can populate a new tin. You know you are. Also, the fans and community around these microtools, especially in the 58mm range, are getting increasingly demanding. You have whole YouTube channels where 58mm knives, scales and scale tools make up the majority of the content. Victorinox knife sales in this size range far exceed those in larger formats. And there is a whole cottage industry emerging with folks with 3D printers in their garages producing 58mm G10 scales which will hold toothpick, tweezer and pin in just one scale. Or they have millimeter rulers 3D printed into the scale. Or they remove the anchor points altogether and turn them into independent key fobs with 3 scale tools in each fob. The list goes on. People are expecting more from the scales, and you have companies like Keyport with their Versa58 system building entire modular snap-on, snap-off ecosystems around 58mm scales. For example, USB storage drives, pocket clips, glow bits, and rechargeable flashlight modules like this flare, which, excuse the pun, totally outshine Victorinox's own LED offerings. And this knife now with these two scales on it is the cornerstone of my keychain carry, so when I leave the house. However, my usual pocket carry is this SOG PowerPoint, which is a great multi-tool, apart really from the scissors, which are not that good at all. So as a companion, I would use this other classic SD with both scale tools, the tweezer and the toothpick. And then weirdly, once the scale tools moved off the knife, it freed up the knife itself. So I was able to switch from this regular classic SD to this classic SD A-locks with the much thinner scales, which is perfect for me as a lightweight neck carry. Just on a piece of paracord, which is also useful to have with you in case you need to tie something. Because the tweezers, the toothpick, the pen, and the pin all live elsewhere now on this lighter, along with some repair material. This is 8 inches of tape here that can be deployed, and also this hot glue gun glue. And that means that this lighter has effectively become my companion multi-tool for micro implements. Now, I made this using a selection of different heat shrink tubes and some normal duct tape, and also some cheap silicone bars of glue, the smaller ones for the smaller glue guns, just for the little glue stick that goes in here. And obviously you'll also need a set of scale tools. Now, if you don't get these from a Victorinox, I find that Etsy is also very good for getting these kind of things. You can also try Amazon, and of course the pin, you don't have to use a Victorinox pin, you can take one from the house's sewing kit. Now, getting this exactly right was rather fiddly, so I'm working on a build video which explains the exact measurements, gives you recommendations for which of these to buy. But in this video, I'm mostly going to be doing a demo and some of the basic underlying principles of the build. And I'm sure you'll be able to muddle through just knowing the materials required, but the build video will save a lot of the guesswork and will make it extremely clear how to make it. Alright, so firstly the choice of lighter. I had considered using Bics or these kind of lighters with the adjustable flame. However, you can't refill these. And these clippers you can with this butane lighter gas. And also the flints on these can't be replaced, and on these they can. So that makes it kind of multi-tooly and long lasting, and that's why I chose that. Also, there's enough plastic waste in the world already, so why not use something which can be reused? There are 3 sizes of clippers that I've found so far that this will work with. All refillable, and they all have the flint replacement possibilities. You can just get these kind of flints and use those. Oddly enough though, another main reason is the geometry. Now, these are not perfectly cylindrical because of this element here. So the premise here is that you fill in this space by taking one of these glue sticks and then cutting, burning and grinding it down into this kind of a shape, so that it will actually sit on here and kind of even out the contours here when you wrap tape around it. In that way it evens out the lower profile and is actually quite nice and grippy as well. And then spooling the tape, as I said, is much easier when these two ends are more level. And there you have it. And the actual architecture underneath all of that spooled tape is basically only about 2 inches big. So this substrate layer is what is holding these implements loosely in place. Then the spooled tape here, I've got 8 inches, you could have more, you could have less, isn't just there as stored repair material. It's also maintaining compression on the underlying architecture, which is this flexible carrier layer holding the individual micro implements in place. So the tape does 3 jobs at once: repair inventory, grip texture, and structural reinforcement for the substrate layer underneath, which is why when you're adding this tape, it's important that you test deployment to make sure you're not over tightening it and you can't get the tools or especially the glue out. Take it from me, in a couple of weeks I've been working on this and carrying it, there's been a lot of trial and error and a lot of lessons learned. And originally it felt a little bit gimmicky, but it doesn't anymore. This thing is genuinely useful. So let's have a look at the glue. So to deploy it, I have toyed with the idea of having something here metallic, which is embedded in the glue and hanging over the edge so that I can push it up, but I prefer to keep it simple as possible and to avoid snags on clothing. So I'm happy enough to use the pin to deploy it. You apply pressure here and then push the pin into the hard glue and then withdraw it like that. And then you just heat it up with the lighter itself, getting as much as you need for whatever repair you're doing. In this case, I'm filling these damaged screw holes, and then you just pop it back in when done. Always remember to burn it from the end furthest from the exit, not the one nearest the exit. All right, let's check out deployment and housing of the other micro implements. As you can see, the individual micro implements are each housed inside their own heat shrink tube. So let's have a look at the deployment of these. You can do a lot of this one-handed to a certain degree. Here we have the toothpick, the tweezer, the pin, and then the pen. Now the pen, it's too small to write with like that. This is a pin from a 58mm Victorinox signature. And what you need to do with the pen is actually turn it around and then put it back into the hole it came out of. Now I had to rush out to my son's school the other day for a meeting with his basketball coach and the parents of the rest of the team to see who was going to be there for next year, etc, etc. So we're in a classroom. I didn't have a pen with me or anything like that, but I did have my super duper lighter with me inside my fifth pocket. And when I needed to take some notes, I took that out and started writing with it. Anyway, I'll get back to that. So once you have the pen turned round back in its original hole, in order to write with it, you need to put pressure on here so that it doesn't slide back in. So you put some pressure on with your thumb and then you write your notes. Now, as you can see, it's perfectly suitable just for writing and scribbling a couple of notes. I wouldn't want to use this to write War and Peace, but if you need to add something to a shopping list or something like that, then this is fine. And then when you're done, you just take it out again and pop it back in its place. And while I'm here, I'm going to put the rest of them away as well. So tweezers go into the green sleeve, pin in the tiny one, and then the toothpick goes in next to the pen, and that's it. So yeah, I'm there at the basketball meeting in the classroom, and we're all adults sitting in school desks and really filling them up, if you know what I mean. And yeah, so when I whipped this out and started writing with it, there were other dads there going, "Whoa, MacGyver," and it was a champagne moment. Anyhow, I digress. So those of you who have seen my carry point series or specifically the video on my keychain might have noticed that I've added this cheap AliExpress type of Microdriver. They're on AliExpress actually for about under $1 each. I actually got this one from my optician. So I've added this to my keychain because I got caught out the other day where a friend of mine who wanted to tighten up his sunglasses, he asked me thinking, Dom's going to have it. And because that's the kind of reputation I've got of always having in my pockets whatever is required in any particular moment. And I couldn't help him. And that really bugged me. So yeah, so now I have this on my keychain, but I don't want it there. It would be nice if I could have one on a 58mm sack, but ideally I want it on here. I'll put a link up here to my playlist for my Carry Point series, which is basically a detailed pocket dump of everything. So my keychain is on there, what's in my wallet is in there, etc. Anyway, back to the Microdriver. I haven't seen a Microdriver on a current version of the 58mm Swiss Army knife. You can get them as optional extras for the 91mm range, but they slide in like this into the corkscrew, so they're not even a scale tool. I think they come in sets of 4, but here I have 3 of them. But you buy them as additional packs. Anyway, it would be really good to see a Microdriver that is actually incorporated into the scales of a 58mm Swiss Army knife, because these are the ones that we carry around most. Victorinox don't have any that I'm aware of on current ranges. They do exist on the Wave Plus, and they're exceptionally useful on there. I've used mine quite a lot. So these are actually semi-two-dimensional like the regular Leatherman bits. So they're a bit flattened on 2 opposing sides. But Roxon also in their M3, which is a scissor-based multi-tool, which is very good actually with some great scissors, they have this Microdriver system as well. Let me see if I can show you. So you push this slider up here and it deploys from there, but you can't use it from there. You have to put it into this other tiny hole here. So it comes out of there and you have to put it in here. And that is a double-sided, so here you have slotted screwdriver and here you have a tiny Phillips head driver, like a PH0 or even a 00. So these tools exist on this Roxon. They exist on the Leatherman Wave Plus. I really would like to see it in the scales of a 58mm Victorinox. And as I mentioned before, I would really like to incorporate one into this lighter, but I haven't found a way of doing it yet. Now I have spares for the Roxon M3, and this is a traditional hexagonal shape, even though it's tiny. And I know that for storage, I could probably slot it into this position opposite the pin. So I could make space to store it in a future version of this. What I don't have is a way of using it. It requires quite a lot of torque, so you can't do it with your fingers. Well, at least I can't. I've tried it. And obviously, if it were in this sort of an architecture, just being held by tape, that wouldn't be enough either. So if anybody has any ideas, here is my call out to the EDC community. Please reach out via the comments and help me get V2 of this off the ground by giving me ideas on how to incorporate a Microdriver. And I know that on Etsy, there is a solution using the Leatherman Microdriver, which goes into a hollowed out part of the toothpick. I'm not convinced by that solution at all. It would be great to have a solution which is a bit more low tech, a bit more imaginative, and a bit more clown's pocket. And I suppose while we're at it, we need a name for this thing as well. I'm thinking of it as a modular micro utility platform, but that's hardly very catchy. I'm still working on the full build video. That should be out in a few days following this one. And I warn you, I'll probably be in full nerd mode for the build video. That's all we've got time for today. So thank you very much for the time that you've taken in watching this. Check out the links and I look forward to seeing you again on the Clown's Pocket. Bye-bye.